Hello and welcome to Questions with Sir. One of my students asked me, Sir, how does electricity get to our houses? Well, first we have to talk about production. We produce electricity in huge machines called generators. In these generators, there are magnets and copper wires. When magnets rotate, they excite electrons in these copper wires and the electricity goes towards our houses. On their way towards our houses, electrons pass through a machine called a step-up transformer. Why do we need that step-up transformer? Well, if electricity under low voltage goes through long wires, it loses energy. So we have to put very, very high voltage into that electricity for it to be able to travel far. When this high voltage electricity gets to our cities, we need to step down this electricity from 500,000 volts to something that can get to our house and not electrocute us when we get close to the socket. In the city, we have step-down generators, which put this high electricity down from 500,000 volts to 120 volts in America and 240 volts in UK and Europe, which then goes to our sockets. This whole business of transporting electricity didn't start smoothly. It was born in a war of currents. It was a war between two scientists, inventors, Thomas Alva Edison, who was rich and already famous inventor, and little known inventor called Nikola Tesla. Tesla actually worked for Edison in his company, and Edison asked him to solve a problem for $50,000. Tesla spent sleepless nights working on Edison's project, and when he presented Edison with this solution, Edison just laughed and said, "Thank you." And Tesla asked, "Well, what's with my money?" Edison just shook his head and said, "Mr. Tesla, you do not understand our American humor." Tesla just quit the company and founded his own laboratory where he was working on his experiments. Edison was a proponent of direct current, which was not very practical, but it was safe and already known. Direct current couldn't go far, so Edison was proposing to build a huge number of power plants to provide power supply to local areas. While Tesla was working on another system called alternate currents. Tesla's alternate currents were unknown and quite dangerous when they are high voltage, but they could be sent very, very far away from the plant. Edison used dirty tricks to discredit Tesla, but Tesla persevered and continued working on his alternate currents. The war lasted for some years, and at the end, Tesla managed to build a huge power plant on Niagara Falls and managed to send his electricity all over the local area. Even today, we're using Tesla's system, and all the electricity that comes to our houses comes from far, far away from different power plants. Machines and gadgets in our homes use different systems. Some of them use direct current and some of them use alternate currents. Computers and small machines like mobile phones use direct currents, and washing machines and blenders, for example, use alternate currents. Computers transform alternate currents and use direct currents, which are very, very low voltages. For example, processor uses 3 volts and the fan that cools the computer uses 12 volts. Processors use this electric current to activate little switches inside of their chips and form the strings of ones and zeros, which, through programming, form the picture on our screen. I hope you liked another episode of Questions with Sir. Keep the questions coming and see you on the next one. Bye!